there is actually a class action lawsuit against a load of the YouTubers, and this one hits close to home because I'm a YouTuber, against a load of the YouTubers who promoted FTX. So obviously FTX is the failed crypto exchange that I think we've talked about a lot on the show. I think a lot of people are familiar with. Sam Bankman-Fried, it went down late last year. So a class action lawsuit has been filed against Kevin Pafaraf of the YouTube channel Meet Kevin, Stephan, who's a big YouTuber, probably a lot of people know, Andrei Jikh, Jaspreet Singh, who has a channel Minority Mindset, also over 1 million subscribers, Brian Jung, Jeremy Lefebvre of Financial Education, Tom Nash, Ben Armstrong, Erica Kohlberg, and Creators Agency LLC. Now, Creators Agency LLC is the agency that presumably got the ads for most of these guys. Because I know Stephan, Meet Kevin, Andrei Jikh, they were all, Brian Jung as well, they were all part of Creators Agency. And so, yeah, I mean, that's why they're in there. And the lawsuit is for $1 billion. And there are several plaintiffs, I think 4 or 5 people who are part of this class action lawsuit. And it's kind of funny because the lawsuit starts off saying that the new CEO who was winding down, the new CEO of FTX is the same guy who wound down Enron. And he says the fraud at FTX is worse than Enron. Yeah, which is kind of crazy. So, and the angle of this lawsuit is that it's trying to prove that the plaintiffs purchased an unregistered security as a result of the promotion by the defendants for their own financial benefit. Okay, so basically it hinges on crypto being an unregistered security that was promoted to these plaintiffs by these influencers advertising the FTX crypto exchange. Now, Kim Kardashian was actually charged with a similar thing by the SEC when she promoted a certain coin, a certain crypto coin. I can't remember what it was called. I can just...
What was it's like exchange something or other? She ended up
Ethereum Max, it was called.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. She ended up settling out of court, and that might be what happens with these guys. I mean, but for the amount she settled for, I mean, it's going to really hit them hard.
So she settled for $2.26 million. Well, she was paid, first of all, she was paid $250,000 to publish a post on Instagram. One post by Kim Kardashian cost $250,000.
Yeah, all the Kardashians, if you want to post, what was the Fire Festival, right? So the Fire Festival, we could do something on that, but I think it's
Billy McFarland.
Yeah, I think it's beating a dead horse. But what was her little sister's, Kylie Jenner? She posts the Fire post, and she gets 250 grand too. So one post is 250K, but what did she end up
failed? So Kim failed to disclose though that it was an ad. She did put #ad down in the corner, but she also said, "Oh, my friends recommend this coin, Ethereum Max," which wasn't an official Ethereum coin. It was just on the Ethereum blockchain, which is why it was called Ethereum Max. But anyone can develop a coin on the Ethereum blockchain. So yeah, and she settled for 1.26 million in as part of that lawsuit. But okay, so let's go back to the FTX lawsuit. So that she promoted an individual coin. But in my opinion, this lawsuit might actually be quite difficult to actually succeed because these influencers were promoting the FTX exchange as a place to buy, sell, or store crypto. They were not promoting an individual coin. And so I think there's quite a big difference between like what Kim Kardashian was actually successfully, prosecuted for and what they're trying to pin on, Stephan, Meet Kevin, Andrei Jikh, those guys. So I don't necessarily, I'm not holding my breath. I don't think this will necessarily succeed.
Yeah, didn't FTX have its own coin though?
They did. FTT, I think it was called. But I have not seen any of those influencers actually shilling, at least the more reputable ones. Like I would say Graham, Kevin, those guys are probably what I would say are the more reputable ones. There are some people further down the list that I'm not so familiar with, like Tom Nash, Ben Armstrong. Maybe some of those guys actually shilled FTT token. I'm not quite sure. But I've definitely seen on the previous channel that Graham Stephan and those guys used to have Millennial Money, they were just promoting as far as I know, they were just promoting the exchange. And they were saying you can get up to $100 free crypto when you sign up for FTX, a new account. They were not shilling in particular coins. And, as a financial YouTuber, my policy has been never promote an individual crypto. I've accepted ads from crypto exchanges before, but never individual coins, because I feel like it's just the same as someone promoting an individual stock, right? You wouldn't get paid by some company to just promote their stock, because that's the classic pump and dump strategy. Highly illegal, right? So, and actually I was offered the FTX sponsorship and I turned it down. And I'm very, very glad that I turned it down. Especially, and I don't know whether my channel is big enough to be named in a lawsuit such as this, but some of the people in this lawsuit actually have similar subscriber numbers to me, around 300,000 or so. So it's possible that I could have come into some trouble, but whatever. I'm very pleased that I never accepted the FTX sponsorship.
I bet.
you know the reason why I didn't accept it is kind of weird. Well, first of all, my channel is more about personal finance, so my viewers don't really react that well to crypto stuff. But the main reason was just I didn't like the name FTX. Like, what does it mean? It made me think of that scene in War Dogs where the guy's like, IBM, what does that stand for? Nothing. And then the guy in the board meeting is like, International Business Machines. That's what it stands for. And he's like, get out. You don't work for us anymore. Like it sounded like he actually thought that IBM was just some BS made up 3 letters, right? But that's what I kind of felt FTX sounded like, right? Actually, it means futures exchange. But that's a very generic sounding name with no soul. It's not like something a bit more creative like Robinhood or Webull or something, that actually has some creativity behind it. So that was kind of one of the reasons why I turned it down, because I just thought, like, this sounds like a company with no soul. And it turns out I was right, because it was a sort of massive money laundering vehicle, with massive fraud. So
yeah, right. That's what it was built for. It's funny you mentioned companies. I was with a meeting with an advisor from UBS a couple of years ago. I was like, "What does UBS stand for?" He's like, "I don't know, no idea." I mean, this guy he probably has almost $1 billion in assets that he manages. He was a regional guy for UBS. He had no idea what UBS.
I'm going to guess. Does it stand for something like United Bank of Switzerland?
I thought it was like United Banking of Scotland, right? Because
I think it's Swiss, isn't it?
I have no idea. I still don't know to this day what UBS stands for. I mean, it's a good question, but he basically said, like, I don't know, Union Bank of Switzerland. Okay.
Oh, I was close. Union Bank of Switzerland. There we go.
Yeah.
Also kind of generic sounding.
Yeah, right. But this is like someone that handled a bunch of their assets for wealth management, and I was like, you don't even know what it means. Okay, all right, I'm just gonna stop talking to you. So FTX to me is definitely a shade thing. I don't know if they're gonna get hit. I would think it's filed in the state of Florida.
It is, yeah.
So Florida's gonna come after people a little bit more, I wouldn't say aggressively, but this state has unique laws. Like the law signed in about social media platforms where
that was in Florida, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's like there was a law that the governor of Florida decided to enact in 2021 that allowed a little bit of leniency for cryptocurrency as well. So it's like, well, let's see what really happens with this. Will it go somewhere? I don't know. Maybe they'll all settle, right?
This is, they might settle. I mean, this is specifically for yield-bearing accounts where you're like staking crypto and getting interest. So that's what the lawsuit specifically says, that these yield-bearing accounts were unregistered securities. I don't think these guys even have $1 billion between them. In fact, I know they do not have that much. They're definitely rich, but they're not that rich. So it could end up in a settlement, or to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if it was thrown out.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. In the state of Florida, it could go any way, which way. I mean, in New York or California, you might have a little bit more headway. But I think the plaintiffs are probably out of Florida, so they file in Florida.